Good night, sports friends and family. Good night, sports friends and crew. This is another Sports Friends podcast, and I'm your host, Televon. With me tonight, I have Shakes, a lot of the favorite, and also some of the viewers not so favorite because of his controversial nature. We have Jason, and we have Ryan. Jason support a Bush team down south. Ryan, the Englishman. But tonight we're here to discuss some Euros 2020 action, some quality football that has been on show. We're not talking about the Bush League, we're talking about real quality football that has been played in Europe. And boy, it has been a tournament so far, man, a tournament to remember. Other people are saying that it kind of give a World Cup type of vibe. Well, as for me, no, I don't agree with that. But I mean, it has been very good so far. And we look no further than the game that took place yesterday, and it was the Hungarian side taking on the Portugal side, and Sheikh Sowan really want to get at this one because of his favorite player, Cristiano Ronaldo, scoring twice. He does best, scoring a penalty, and later on in the game, let's say, it was a quality goal, exchanging 1-2 passes with Rafa Silva, and ended up running out 3-0 victors. Rafael Guerrero got in the other goal. Shakes, you know that I'm a man that beat Cristiano on a regular. People think that I actually hate him, but no, I don't hate him. Cristiano was once my favorite player. But you see, from that man leave Old Trafford, all of my ratings seem just take time, just go down. That was it. But yeah, he ended up with 2 goals, but in my estimation, it was very poor. It was very poor, and I stick by my assessment of him that he takes away from this team that had to it. Shakes, now over to you to assess this game.
All right. Good night, everyone. As it pertains to the Hungary-Portugal match, let's start with the coach of the Portuguese team. When you talk about a certified madman, Santos is one of them. Yes, along with some others in world football. It doesn't matter to me if you won Euro 2016. The sort of talent that you have throughout your squad, I don't believe that you should be so defensive going into a tournament like this. Not only that, you're playing arguably the weakest team in the group. So therefore, you'd want to win the game comfortably, right? The whole point of having 2 defensive midfielders in that game, Carvalho along with Pereira, never made any sense to me, right? Especially because the so-called, he's playing the number 10 role, but he was wearing the number 11 jersey. I won't call his name, right? But as usual, when it comes on to games that matter, he's lost, right? You mentioned Cristiano Ronaldo just a while ago.
Disagree with you though, Shakes. I'm going to disagree right there because Bruno wasn't last yesterday.
Hold on. Right? So in the first half, I believe the major problem for that Portuguese team wasn't Bruno Fernandes. It was actually Diogo Jota.
No.
And the fact that he was trying to upstage everybody on the Portuguese team, Diogo Jota is what? Trying to win the Ballon d'Or or something like that, or the World Player of the Year?
No. Someone actually said it.
That
Jota
what?
hasn't been at Liverpool long, and Jota has adapted all of Salah's ways.
Oh, well said. Well said. Because guess what? Portugal, they would have comfortably been about 2-0 minimum up if it wasn't for Diogo Jota. When he was, I think it was in about the 9th minute, he got a chance where he stung the palms of the goalkeeper. And if he had just lifted his head, he would have realized that Ronaldo was free. He would have basically just walked the ball into the back of the net, score an easy goal. Throughout the rest of the first half, the man was literally just selfish. It was as if he was trying to beat the entire Hungarian team, which never made much sense to me. So you had Bernardo on the... Go again?
So like something Russia do actually do.
Oh Lord. So yeah, on the right you had Bernardo Silva, who was engaged for me. The problem that I have with Bruno in that game is that I would have wanted to see more from him. I want him to dictate the play, right? I don't see why the right winger or the left winger on the team should be dictating the play. The number 10 is supposed to dictate the play. And that is what Bruno is supposed to be doing in the team. Yes, everybody might say, oh, he made some key passes. But for me, he was non-existent. And many pundits said it, that he was non-existent. Where was Bruno? Yes, he did pass that one ball that, once again, if Diego Jota never put off, because honestly, I don't even know if he actually deflected it. But I believe that he put off, which is why Ronaldo missed that goal, right? Many people saying, oh, it was such an easy chance. But guess what? Jota was actually trying to flick that ball in at the near post, right? When Ronaldo was right behind him in open space. But guess what? As I said, the coach is to get most of the blame. The whole defensive unit going into the second half, if you realize, yeah, the goals came because you put on more attacking players on the field. So hungry, yeah, they might have scored an offside goal, right? But never should have come to that. You put on attacking players, you get the desired result. For me, can't be playing two defensive midfielders against Hungary. Even going forward in the tournament, I don't want to see them playing two defensive midfielders. I rather them play Pereira, put William Carvalho on the bench, right? And put in Renato Sanchez or put in Rafa, right? Ronaldo, on the other hand, this is to counter what you said. Ronaldo is just there, left hand, to put the ball in the back of the net. You see, if a man does that, if a man does that, he's done his job. I'm going to say one last thing. If Germany had Ronaldo, France wouldn't have won that game because you'd have had somebody to put the ball in the back of the net. So you can't get up and cuss a man for scoring two goals.
Don't try to jump the gun on the program though. We'll
No, man, I'm not jumping the gun. I'm just stating a fact that a man that is playing center forward, his job is to put the ball in the back of the net, not run up and down like he used to when he was in his 20s. Remember, expectations have to change with an aging player. But because you're an aging player doesn't mean that you lack the skills, you know. And what you guys need to realize is that Ronaldo has better goal scoring skills than literally everybody in world football except Robert Lewandowski, probably Kylian Mbappe, and Messi. That's it. But he's in top 4 in terms of goal scoring. So he's doing his job. The others need to step up.
We shall see about that. But again, I stand by my point. I don't care what you want to say. Ronaldo should be on the bench at best. Well, one thing that I want to get in. Ryan, you saw the game?
Yes.
All right. This team is blessed with a lot of attacking talent. Now, as Sheikh said, there was no reason to start two defensive midfielder. And even if you choose to start two defensive midfielder, why not actually probably go with Ruben Neves as a pass on him? Why choose two players that plays exactly alike and does the same thing? And William Carvalho was out of sorts all season for Real Betis. I can't tell when last William Carvalho has played well. So, I mean, if that's the case, right? Why don't you draw for... Well, I mean, Joao Felix hasn't had any good season either. He has been very poor. And it's the only reason why he's not being criticized is because of the club he's at. If he was in English, if he was in the English league, he would have been crucified a long time ago. But
in English, he would have been crucified.
Facts. But you have a Pedro Gonçalves who has done superb for Sporting all season long, right? Why not add some fresh player to the team that nobody don't really expect to actually play? Why don't actually try to blood these players in that can bring something different from the norm? And I mean, as I said, they have enough players, attacking players that they can easily switch between. So why continuously stay with this 4-2-3-1? I know that you're one of his biggest critic because before the tournament you spoke about Fernando Santos not being criticized enough for the stupidities he has done in the past and what he's currently doing with this talented Portuguese team.
Well, that's exactly why I criticized him, because this is exactly what I expected from him, which is why I decided to shine the limelight on him before the tournament began. Because maybe people weren't watching Portugal as much as some would claim. Because if you were watching Portugal, you would realize that regardless, people have been hyping up Portugal's talent, but no one has been talking about their playing style. I see more people talk about England talent and their playing style, and ignoring the fact that Portugal plays way more defensive. So I decided to shine the limelight on him so that when the tournament begins, people will see exactly what I've been talking about. And he's doing exactly as I expected. So he playing two defensive midfielders against the weakest team in the group is par for the course, as based on his philosophy. It's nothing strange. He's not a guy that is going to, if we give him Andorra, he might do the same thing.
You're kind of wrong in it because I believe they played against Andorra, and this is exactly what he did.
That's why I said he will.
He will. I said will. So
right, carry on.
It's nothing surprising from Santos, and it's something that he has been and will always be a defense first type of coach. As it relates to Bruno, if it is that you're going to say that Ronaldo was bad, Bruno was worse. You have to call up Bruno as well.
Awful.
Bruno got off a few passes here and there, yes, and a good shot that the goalkeeper saved. But outside of that, he was
awful.
At one point, I was wondering if he was on the field.
Well said.
Yeah, because Bruno was next to, he was redundant, basically.
He was next to Rio Patricio in terms of how many times the camera shone on him.
Pretty much.
I don't agree with you guys, though.
No, Bruno was.
I don't agree with you. I guess all of us watch it.
Playing the number 10 role against
Levon. Remember that is
when you are the creative outlet, he did not do as he should have done. He was not the player.
Yeah, but Ryan, what you guys are mixing up is that you're saying that he was non-existent. There's a difference between non-existent and
all right. Apart from the 1 and 2 chance creation that he made and the good shot that he took that the goalkeeper saved, what else? How was he a part of the game in terms of the build-up?
I'm not disagreeing with you guys that he should have done more as a number 10, you know. I agree with that because if I have a number 10 in my team, I want my number 10 to create a lot.
You're starting off by criticizing Ronaldo, you know. Ronaldo was
Hold on, Ryan. So, all right, since Levon using those words, how much you'd give him out of 10, Levon?
6.
6?
I'll give him 4. The 4 that you never give him is what I'll give him.
Come on, man.
I'll give him 6.
So hold on. So if you give Bruno 6, how much you'd give Ronaldo for that game?
7.5.
But you just criticize him. 7.5.
Exactly.
I criticize him. The only reason I got 7.5 is because he scored the 2 goals afterwards. There you have it. But yes, Casey, I was saying that it seems all Portugal coaches are Jose students. Agree?
Well, a lot of the Portuguese managers, that's how they coach. So I mean, I guess it's a style, a Portuguese style.
Like how the Germans have their style.
Yes.
That's why I just jumped the gun to go to Germany. So
and the English coaches have no style. So yeah, everybody else.
Jason, any input on the game itself?
From me, I don't think Bruno was as awful as Shakes and Ryan making it out to be. Of course, his performance could have been much better. We all agree with that, but it's something that I pretty much pointed out all season where I mean, if I follow the statistics, it will show that he probably had a decent game, but that's pretty much how it's been for the better part of the season for United and throughout, where his performances haven't been electric, but then the statistics will tell another story. So that's just a conundrum that Bruno is. I pointed it out as well that I don't know how you go into this game with two defensive midfielders. I didn't see the sense in it and all of that, especially considering that Hungary was missing their prime talent, who Levan knows a lot about, and all of that. So, I mean, the weakest team in the group is not even arguably. Hungary is the weakest team in the group, and everybody will be looking to push up them goal difference, considering the amount of quality that is in and around this group with the three other championship caliber teams. So this was Portugal's chance to make a statement. And at one point, I wondered if, boy, they're really going to throw this away. But they came up with the goods late, and it was a good result for them. Congrats to Ronaldo. More records broken. So, I mean, they move good 3 points for Portugal in the end.
And before we move on, I'm disappointed in Hungary. I call this game for a draw from a long way out because I said I expected this fixture to draw. And they actually did well up until Guerrero actually scored the goal. I remember that they actually scored and then it was chalked off. When they scored, I was like, yes, at least I know that even if Portugal end up scoring one, this game will actually end in a draw. So, yeah, man, but I'm disappointed, man. Sorry that Sibosla is actually missing, but...
Yeah, but I mean, I pointed out something in the aftermath of the match that from Euro 2016, if you're looking for a team that literally won the tournament, it was literally smash and grab, it's Portugal, because I pointed out that in all of the matches that they played, they only won one game in 90 minutes.
But that's
so that just goes to
that was the exact reason why I went for a draw, knowing that this is what Portugal tend to do.
But you see, Jason, that point that you just made, read the draws, is basically summing up the coach.
Of course, exactly.
Yeah, it's summing up the coach, where you play 7 games, you only win 1 in 90 minutes. So that means you're only going to get one terrific performance in every 7 games with that coach because of his philosophy.
We're here now talking about the coach and the style of play, and he won 3-0. It goes to show how bad a philosophy went into the game with, because if it is that Hungary had seen out the last 8 to 10 minutes, including injury time, we are here saying his style is bad and what have you. We'd be saying worse.
Yep.
So imagine you winning 3-0 and you are getting this amount of criticism.
Nah, man, it's just like Mourinho. Mourinho win 5-0 and 4-0 with United, and we still criticize him that he's one of the worst when it comes down to style of play and all of that. So, no matter how much you win by now, as long as your playing style sucks, it just sucks. There's nothing you can do to go around that.
But you know that is not style of play for Portugal, though.
What are you getting at?
It's tactics. Because I don't believe the style of play for Portugal is bad. It's just who he puts on the field. So if he makes some changes, you're still going to see, because they were attacking throughout the game. But you needed some more attackers on the field.
Yeah, but it still come back down to playing style, because if he had more attackers on the field, as you just pointed out, they would have been way more attacking. Let's move.
I think one of the reasons why the criticisms of him is actually blown out more this time around is a sense of that they got Hungary out of the way. They still have Germany and France to come. So if you're going to go that defensive against Hungary, what are you going to expect against the 2 better teams in the group? And trust me, Levan will know that Portugal will have nightmares. They will have nightmares at Germany, because from 2014 World Cup, that opening game when Thomas Muller scored a hat-trick, so they will have nightmares, so we'll see.
All right. With that being said, we'll now roll over to the next game where, boy, I have one of the worst coach. And it has been weeks that Ryan and I have been discussing this German team. I said that Joshua Kimmich at right wing back, useless. Absolutely useless.
Levon,
And
now you tell me them can work there.
he can,
He was
but
not bad.
based on how this team actually set up, he won't.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
thing.
Have to have the right personnel.
That's what I said to Jay's Ren. Joshua Kimmich can play as a right wing back.
Levon, let me just add one piece to it. Joshua Kimmich is intelligent enough to be center forward for Germany. That's how intelligent he is.
So anywhere you put this man can play. But the thing though is that the setup itself leaves a lot to be desired, and I don't want to get much into it because I'm going to just throw Ryan argument away, and I actually want Ryan to actually put it forward. But boy, you see basically all this team setup. You know that they can't go into this game against France and expect that, oh, I'm going to play a two-man midfield, especially with who's been one of those two. And then also you saw that Kai Havertz was lost, like literally lost. You just kept on. Well, I guess he was probably in a French jersey yesterday. I just kept on passing ball back to France, and you saw that the man wasn't affecting the game. Why not put on Werner, who would challenge those French defenders more, would actually pull them out of their places and create more space in between for Muller and players like those to actually navigate their way through. But boy, I wasn't impressed any at all by the performance. I wasn't. Ryan, you just get into it.
Well, as I said to you, Lowe is going to do one of two things. Either he's going to sacrifice his strength to strengthen his weakness, or vice versa. And he did sacrifice his strength, which is his midfield, to strengthen his weakness, which is defense. And as such, it made France very comfortable. France could just sit back when they feel like and try to counter whenever they got the chance. Because they weren't really, I don't see France being flustered yesterday by Germany. If it is that you're going to play a two-man midfield, Toni Kroos is a passer. He does not have the physical ability to handle playing a two-man midfield against teams that are more robust like Portugal and France. So you need more robust physical players in that setting. Toni Kroos is a good player in a midfield three. That is where he's more effective. So if it is now that Germany is going to play a midfield three, you know right off the bat that you're going to have two wing backs, two right and left backs like the ones that France have, who are solid defenders but not that good going forward. But you will have a very good midfield three and a fluid front line. So maybe that's something Lowe can look at for the next two games going forward, to see that he will strengthen his two better sides of his two better lines, because Germany's best lines are the midfield and the forward line. So maybe that's something he could look at. But then he also has to know that he's going to give up a goal or two.
So basically you're saying that he has to outscore opponents.
Huh?
You're saying that he's going to outscore opponents if he expect to win.
Yeah, I've been saying that about Germany for a while now. That for Germany to win consistently, they just have to focus on trying to outscore their opponents, because their strength is their forward line, which is fluid, and their midfield. You're not going to defend your way to much victories with this German team if you're serious about winning games.
But one thing though, Ryan, you pointed out that Kroos would be best suited in a midfield three. I'm a German fan, and to be honest, Kroos won't be my midfield three either. If it was left up to me, Kroos sit down on the bench, or preferably out of the squad. My midfield three.
I'm just saying regardless of where you put him, whether you put him in the stands, on the bench, or on the field, at the end of the day, it's still better than a midfield three.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm saying, if based on this tournament, my midfield three would actually be Kimmich, Gundogan, and Goretzka. Those are the three that I'd actually put. Knowing
Not bad.
that, knowing if you look at the teams that are actually trying to challenge for this title, you notice that their midfield actually plays fast. Otherwise, the Italians that will actually get to eventually, they use Jorginho as a little bloke just to sit. The next two man is robust, they up and down, right through, they run for the entire 90 minutes. Can Cruz do that? No. You can't. And if you're going to say, all right, you're going to allow Joshua Kimmich the freedom to go forward and all of that, as you said, Cruz is not solid enough to play as a lone man holding. It doesn't have the physicality and it doesn't have the strength to actually play as a holding. So you know
No,
that
you don't
Gundogan
play him
is
there. You don't play him there. You play Kimmich there.
No, but that's what I'm saying. So you're going to play him right there and just going to have Cruz.
No, you don't play Kimmich in the position that you're referring to then.
I'd actually use Kimmich as the DM.
Kimmich's best position in midfield is in the DM role.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's where I'd actually play him. Now that leaves me with one decision to make, and that would be bench Tony Cruz. Simple as that.
So why not bench Kai Havertz?
Come on, Shakes. Kai Havertz come out of my team already, man. Team of Werner take him spot.
All right.
Okay.
And
So
then
it's
you're swapping Kimmich for Cruz in the DM. So you're already putting in Werner. So who you're putting in Kimmich's position at right wing back?
Clusterman, that's Jason. I've been right through the entirety of the match. I call for Clusterman right through.
Okay.
Who is your left back again?
Robin Gosens.
Gosens from Atalanta.
Gosens is not a left back, He's a left wing back.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's where he played, wing back.
You're really going to chance Gosens as a left back in a back four?
Why not?
Why?
But hold on. But hold on. But why not?
Tournament?
But why not just keep the same formation?
Okay, since Ryan's good. What will I do, Shake? Since Ryan's good.
No. If you want to, I'm going off the fact that Levon wants to play a back four,
All right, cool.
But I don't think Gosens would be ideal given your defensive situation if you want to play a back four.
All right, Ryan, no problem. No problem. Use Marcel Alstenberg. Is that a case as if we don't have players that can actually play?
That's why I was saying. That's why I said Germany. If Germany is going to play a back four, they just have to play a back four like the one that France has, with their wing backs being solid defensive players, not really attacking wing backs. So that's which I was referring to Clustermans and Alstenberg when I said that.
Additionally,
but Shakes disagree with that. I'm going to bring Shakes into this now. Shakes actually pointed out that Germany do all that. They could simply just use Manuel Neuer as the sweeper keeper, which he has been accustomed to playing. Shakes?
Yep, I agree.
Right.
So you're in. Oh, not here.
Shakes, it's your turn. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. I thought you weren't hearing.
I wasn't.
Okay, so yeah, I was saying that let Neuer play the sweeper keeper role. You might compromise the defense, but improve the midfield, improve your attacking line. Really and truly, Germany does not have enough quality, right? When you really look on the bench in 11, like there's nobody on the bench. Like there's literally nobody on the bench.
Like
right?
Belgium bench.
Right? So when you really think about it, even if the coach changes and puts in somebody, there's no guarantee that a man will come in and perform better than Cruz. So guess what? Push Cruz higher up so that he can sort of dictate the play, and you put Kimmich in there to protect him. Right? That's what I would do. And then, as I said, because you're compromising the right side, you're basically going to ask Neuer to play as a sweeper keeper. Listen, if you concede a goal, you concede a goal. But the way they played yesterday, if they play like that, they will always concede a goal.
Exactly.
right? And it don't make sense. They say when you're a mad person, you always do the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. So guess what? You have to change it up. And if you go down, changing it up, no problem. But if you keep on losing, keep on conceding, as they did, because we all know France did put the ball in the back of the net a couple more times, right? So you have to change something. For me, Kai Havertz not going to work. As a starting player, I would use Werner for pace, right? Ganabre for me shouldn't be the highest man on the park, even though some people might argue that Thomas Muller interchanged with him and he was probably the highest player on the field, right? But Werner for me have to be starting over Havertz in that German team. Some of the subs that they made, oh Lord, I don't even want to talk about it. Sane, Volan, listen, those were subs that never really counted. Like no joke, they were subs that never counted.
Jason, I know that you're ready to go about well, Jason just jumped up because I know that Jason is ready to go to brag about his boy Pogba
Well,
because all
when
these
when Low made those subs, the French team just sat back and said,
Yeah,
"Oh,
man, they
he's
smiled,
trying to
man.
make us comfortable."
Smiled. Those men offered absolutely nothing. But we can talk about the French team now.
all right, Jason, I know that you're ready to go about your boy Pogba because you and a lot of United fans are all over the place laughing about, oh, world class Pogba, this and that. But I mean, he has N'Golo Kante beside him, who allows him to do whatever he wants to do. Now the floor is all yours, Jason. Go ahead.
On the contrary, I'm not going to go all about, but of course, it was an impressive performance. But I mean, we've seen it in contrasts at United still, so I don't really get the narrative that he's this whole different player for France. Maybe we'll see it more consistently for France, but I think international football more caters to Pogba's talents than probably what he'll get at United and the Premier League. So, but I mean, once you have Kante beside, of course, it's going to make everything better. I just look at it this way, where you say that if you're working with somebody and you know that the person that you're working with is actually of high quality, ensure high productivity, of course, it's going to make your job easier. So when Pogba looks behind him for United and sees McTominay and Fred, or he plays beside Fred or beside McTominay, it's going to take away a bit from his strength. I mean, it's logical. It's a logical explanation. So, I mean, really and truly, but I know that you're disappointed as a German. Of course, you wanted Germany to win or at least get a result. But I don't think, for me, I don't think Germany really all played all that badly. And I think in hindsight, we need to all remember that this is the same France that they're the world champions. How different is this side from the side that beat Croatia final? I mean,
Stick up in.
Kim Bempe come in for Umtiti and Benzema came in,
What's
and of
stick up in
course,
though? Jason,
yeah.
one thing that I forget, this current French team is actually playing with 10 men. You know why? They have a particular player. His name is Antoine Griezmann. That man don't do nothing on this French team, brother. So 10 man, the man
No
them
man,
I
play.
mean,
Griezmann is way better for France than for club, you know.
He did nothing for France yesterday, boss.
Yesterday,
Absolutely nothing.
No, yesterday that's true, but generally speaking, Griezmann is a lot better for country than for club.
Yeah,
Yes,
he is.
that was in the past.
But
yeah, he
No,
No,
that's
we're
the
talking,
part. You know.
we're talking about no man, we're talking about present day, as in
No,
yesterday.
yesterday,
Yeah, man,
yes,
we're talking about yesterday.
it was not that great yesterday,
no, you
but
see, no,
outside of
no, you
yesterday,
see, Ryan,
it is better for club country than club.
no, Ryan
And
talking about
really and truly, I
Let
would disagree
Jason
with
come
that.
through.
Sheik's run talking about Atletico's Griezmann. This is Barcelona's
Exactly.
Griezmann. No,
Exactly.
But one thing also that I would actually point out, though, Sheikh said it best. Sheikh says that whichever player plays for France, they look like world class players, even Hugo Lloris.
You couldn't make me say it.
Don't worry, the mistake will come.
All right, boss, go ahead and say it, man. Go ahead.
Oh, listen. Guys, Musa Sissoko played in that midfield, and the man looked like a world-class talent. Y'all remember that?
Yeah.
Like a world-class talent, because guess what? N'Golo Kante, the 3-in-1 player that I always talk about, the 3-in-1 player, literally covers for himself and the two other midfield players that play. That is why I call him a 3-in-1 player, because he's basically 3 posts on a field. So he will provide exceptional coverage for everybody. So you see, even Rabiot, people talking about Pogba, but guess what? Rabiot did a lot of running yesterday, which basically allowed Pogba to just roam the entire field, right?
Yes, yeah.
And Rabiot was also able to do that. Why? Because guess what? Y'all realize that when the ball went around to the back, even the commentators was saying, but didn't I just talk about Kante over here? How is he over here already? The man was
Yeah.
literally right to left,
Everywhere.
everywhere, right?
But Shakes,
And that's the
Shakes,
key
one
thing.
thing that I heard you mention that I haven't heard you said yet. The man play with Danny Drinkwater with Chelsea regret paying that
Oh
much
my
money for
God!
him.
Oh my God! How could I forget that? Yes, I posted that. I posted that on Facebook, and I was like, yeah, the man literally made Danny Drinkwater look like a quote unquote great player, to the point where Chelsea went. How much them spend, Ryan?
I believe it
Enough
was
money.
35
35
thereabouts.
million.
Too much
Okay.
money.
35 million.
All right. So yes, it was actually 35 million. 35 million for Danny Drinkwater, and all he has done at Chelsea is literally drink water. That's
play with the
all.
under 20, and play with the under
Water
23.
boy. He has been the water boy.
But
But yeah, Kante in that role, trust me, he will make everybody look good, right?
and I'm
So
on
even
a serious note though, right? Let's look at overall all the French team set up yesterday. Did they actually impress you, Shakes, in terms of you see a team that can actually go on to win this title?
so Kante being in that team covers a lot of deficiencies. So just before you asked me the question, I was going to point out Griezmann. So you see, even though Griezmann never played anything in the game, it never really mattered, because Kante was there to cover for everybody. And then Griezmann never had to do anything because Pogba was actually playing well in the game, right? So the light wasn't really shone on Griezmann. But if you were giving Griezmann a rating, I don't think anybody would give Griezmann more than a 2 or 3 for that game, right? Honestly speaking, the man was non-existent, right? Whereas I can say, all right, Benzema trapped back, he was actually winning balls just above the half line. What was Griezmann doing in the game? Right, so that was one weakness for me in terms
Flexing
of.
his ear.
I agree, but as Jason alluded just now, the Barcelona Griezmann is the Griezmann that we see on the field. That is why Ryan, just before I had said, in the past, Griezmann, which was the Atletico Griezmann, used to be brilliant for France. I don't know if I will see that going forward for the rest of the tournament, because guess what? The level of football that Griezmann used to play at club level has fallen off significantly. So I don't expect it to just get up and turn up for a tournament like this and just be all, the greatest thing since sliced bread, right? So that's one area. The second area for me is their centre back, Kimpembe. For me, I just can't trust him. Right? I just can't trust him. Those are the only 2 areas. I don't really rate Lloris, but guess what? Many goals don't score on him once again because the type of setup that France has. So a lot of the Varane was excellent, Kante was excellent. So once you have a decent spine, it means that you're going to have less attacks coming towards you. You're going to have less saves to make.
So here's another German saying that Lowe is a madman. Playing three at the back against France makes zero sense. It robbed the midfield of one player. You can't use a two-man midfield to break down a midfield three with Kante in it. Sure, we spoke about that earlier.
Said that, yeah.
Let's move on now and let's hope some side turn up there, man. Belwis is still.
That's when
I
Saturday,
don't
right?
Yeah, the thing is that I expected more, but because of who is actually coaching the team, my expectations has kind of lowered somewhat. Unless I see something different come our next game. Until then, let's just continue watching some football. Earlier this morning, we saw Russia getting a 1-0 victory over Finland. Finland actually started the game well and they went ahead. I caught that part of the game before I left out for work, and I saw when Poyan Paulo put the ball in the back of the net, but it was chopped off. And the only reason why I was interested in watching that match was because of who was commentating the match. Peter Drury, man. Jeez. The man was like, Poyan Paulo, grabbing this tournament by the scruff of his neck. I was like, yo, this man is just the best, man. But then it was chalked off, and a player that I have a lot of time for, Alexei Miranchuk, got the go-ahead goal for the Russian team, and they ended up pulling out for a 1-0 victory. The other bad news about this game was that Mario Fernandez went down with a nasty injury, and boy, we have seen some nasty injuries in the tournament so far, and that is the only bad part to it so far because we saw Castagne, Ericsson the other day, and now Mario Fernandez, and it doesn't look good on that part. Let's hope that all these guys.
Russia lose their right back and their left back.
Yeah.
Zherkov.
So just hope that they'll actually come back and recover adequately. Nothing much to talk about it because, as I said, Russia, not the Russia have one that they once was, and then this Finnish team, they're just an okay side. Next up, we saw Turkey basically on the cusp of elimination. They went down 2-0 to Wales, and it was a very good game. Otherwise, from the penalty missed by Gareth Bale, he had a ball today, and Aaron Ramsey got on the score sheet, and then Conor Roberts scored the final goal.
Ramsey could have easily gotten an hat-trick.
Could have, but boy, Ramsey is just a clone, man. Overrated by a lot of Arsenal fans from he was there, but that's nowhere to go. Any intake on the game? Do you guys want to talk about it? Anything about it that actually impressed you or any takeaways? Otherwise, Sam Ramsey being an obvious bug.
Man, Bale is just a different animal for Wales. When he puts on a Wales shirt, you can actually see him literally turn up to be that player that the world fell in love with at first before all of this, before him started to come golf. But overall, it was a very good game. I was also impressed with another player that United fans tend to berate a lot. Mr. Daniel James, who I might add is a leading chance creator in the Euros at this moment. So overall, Wales played to their strengths, which is good, and they got a decent 3 points. And I think they're going to give Italy a very good matchup. In the last, Italy still will come out on top, but I think that not honestly speaking, because really and truly, you guys said something backstage that I don't agree with the sense where they say Italy played two decent teams. Turkey had a very good qualifying, conceding like 3 goals in the 10 games that they played, but you can see their inexperience in this tournament now. And then this is probably one of the worst Switzerland teams I've ever witnessed. So I don't think Italy play anybody.
All right, Jason, first I'm going to debunk your point. Nobody said that they played 2 good teams. So there you're wrong. Remember, against the Turkish team, the producer and I said that we were more on the side of watching what Italy was doing vis-a-vis what Turkey was doing. Also in the game today, I was more watching what Italy was doing than what Switzerland was actually doing.
We see
But
you're taking in the European champions. Because apparently, according to everybody, them are going to win. So why not?
don't jump the gun because you made a point that I want to go back to. Were you actually surprised by how Bale performs for Wales? Remember, it's golf, Wales, and club football in that order. So I
No,
mean, why
no,
surprised?
no, no. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. I'm just saying that it's very good when he puts on a Wales shirt. They can actually see the Gareth Bale that everybody came to love and all of that. So that was my point. I wasn't surprised by his performance because I mean he took Euro 2016 by storm. I think they went to the semis in Euro 2016. So I mean I'm not surprised by Bale's performance at all actually.
Okay. Fact remain though, Bale is a bug. That won't
I
change.
agree because guess what? And I will agree with what you just said, Levon, because guess what? Bale gave me that same performance against Sheffield United.
There you
So
have
if
it.
you're if you're going to say Turkey, because your team might be young, inexperienced for tournaments, mean that not really playing the best football, you're basically saying that Turkey's a bug team. You just don't want to say it that way, right? So I'm not surprised that Bale came and shone. Now, what would surprise me is if Bale literally played well against Italy, right? And get Wales to get a positive result. That would be a big step for me in terms of Wales heading in the right direction, right? But as Sherwin just said, yes, Bale right now is a small team bully, and that is correct.
All right. Stick up in. Zidane stunner in the comment section. That's a false statement. We talk about current topics, and Jamaica football is not current. The Premier League is slated to return the 26th. When it's closer to the 26th, we'll actually discuss that. Until then, it's all about Euros. Not even Bush League Copa America we're not discuss. Anyways, let's move on. Italy took on the Swiss team today also, and we saw a midfield infused performance by the Italians. Manuel Locatelli. Oh boy, man. A player that I've been talking about for ages. A player that has just come to the fore for a lot of these fans because they just know about him since this Euros. But I mean, we're not going to just stick on Locatelli. We're going to talk about that entire performance by this Italian team. Ryan, it's been a while we've been saying that don't sleep on this team, and they once again proved today that they're no walkover. And it was such a very good performance by them. Over to you, Ryan.
I've been saying it for a while. I've been saying it for like 2 months before the tournament began that this Italy team is a serious threat and a serious dark horse. They are more than a dark horse now.
They are
They are
favorites, yeah.
right now. You can put them in the favorite bracket.
Yeah.
They have elevated themselves over the last 2 games. The midfield has goals in it. This is not normally what what an Italian midfield is. This one has goals in it. Verratti is in trouble when he is back.
What do you mean by he's in trouble? Verratti can't make back this midfield, boss.
That's why I said he's in trouble.
Too slow.
I never. If I had said he was not in trouble, then that means he could have made by the team easily. But he's in trouble. I don't say Verratti making back this team so easy.
And Ryan, you know which players also are ahead of him in the pecking order? Stefano Sensi. Even that man is ahead of him, so you know where he's actually at currently.
Exactly, and Sensi is very good. Tonali will come back shortly because he had a bad season, but I expect him to bounce back. So I don't expect Verratti. I don't know how long Verratti will last as an Italian player, to be honest with you. The front line also has goals in it from right across. And we don't even get to see much of Chiesa. So Italy has serious strength in them. They are one of the strongest squads in this competition right now. And let us see how they progress in the other few games. Let us see how they progress in the knockout rounds because I hope they're not peaking too soon. So it remains to be seen how they manage the rest of the tournament going forward. They lost Chiellini. As I said earlier as well, that I don't expect these guys to last the tournament based on their age. And I also said that they should rotate their backline, give Bastoni some of the games, give Asherby some of the minutes, because these two guys won't, you can't play these two centre backs, age 70 combined, throughout the tournament.
Why? But and also Ryan, another key thing that is that they don't really have to worry about starting these two guys. They actually have cover in that centre back position as well now, because even Brian Cristante, that man can play as a centre back too, you know. So I mean, they don't need to rely on Bonucci
Yeah,
and Chiellini. And as I said, Bastoni, very good. For his age, monster in the making. But Jason, I want your take on this, because I'm going to hold back on Shakes, because Shakes has a lot to say about this one. So Jason, you give your thoughts on the Italians.
Very, very good performance. I mean, the run that they've been on, they haven't lost a game since September 2018. You know, I think when Mancini took them over, Italy was at their lowest in the rankings, and you know, Mancini has just completely transformed them. And I think in this tournament, Italy is one of those sides that's the perfect blend of youth and experience. That kind of, you know, doesn't leave them overawed. But I agree with Ryan in the sense that I hope it's not a case as if they peak too early. So I would love to see how they progress throughout the tournament. But I think this has just been Italy's mantra over the years. Nobody really fancies them at the beginning of the tournament, before the tournament, even during the tournament, and then they pop up in the semis, they pop up in the final. They might even win the tournament overall. So I mean, well, I'll hold back on the full out predictions for now, but it was a very good win by them today, and you can't ask for anything better from the Italians at the moment.
All right. One thing that I also forget just now, Ryan. They even have another centre back. I didn't even actually notice. Atalanta centre back Rafael Tala is also in the squad. So
yeah, but Tala got minutes the last two games, I think.
yeah, but
These two
I'm
games.
saying though that they actually have centre back, so they don't need to rely on these two guys. Shakes, now over to you to give your centerpiece on the center
No,
stage.
it's not a centerpiece. It's Ryan's team, you know, right? Or should I say, it's Ryan's second team, not mine.
No, hold on. Don't
No,
leave out
no.
don't leave out the producer, because the
Not my
producer and I
second
have
team.
been talking about them a lot.
Is since tonight a friend of mine who is an Italian fan think me hate Italy. I'm not asking why answer that. So I can't. My second team if them fans think me not like
Oh
them.
no, man! Tell him to tune into Sports Frenzy then, because clearly he hasn't heard you raving about
That's
them.
that's what I said to him.
Exactly, right? But for me, it was an impressive performance. You beat who is in front of you, and when you beat them good, right? I was also impressed with the fact that they're getting goals all over the park, because on the last live that was when last Friday, I believe, I
Yeah, it
said
was
that
last Saturday.
yes, I said that the one advantage for this Italian team is that they have no superstars, right? For me, I believe that Gianluigi Donnarumma is a superstar, as in he's an excellent keeper for me, right? But outside of that, you basically have just players in your squad, right? And basically what you are saying now is that you could basically interchange players in the team and still get a decent output. That is a good hallmark for a team that should go deep in a tournament, right? So that's something that can work to their advantage. I'm not going to go and say that there is possibility of burnout, because he can literally rotate. He has qualified already. He now knows that what's their name? Wales. Wales can't surpass them. He just needs to play for a draw, in that match. So he could
actually they can if they beat them.
No man, attacking for the draw. So he can literally play for the draw, right? End up on 7 points. Wales would finish on 4 points.
5.
No, 5.
No, 5, sorry, 5. Yeah. So he doesn't have to go out for a win. He doesn't have to tell his players, oh guys, yeah, you need to play your best football. No, they don't need to do that. Right? So he literally can rotate players, even taking out Bonucci because the injury that Chiellini sustained today. I know that he's gone for the tournament. It's gonna be it's only if they make it to the finals. You could possibly see him, and I still don't think that he would be fit for the final. Even if he start, he would come off in the first 20 minutes. So he might be done for the tournament. So rotate your squad. Let some of the other guys get some match time so that when the tougher games come in the knockout stage, you know that, okay, if a game is not going right for you, you have somebody that might be on the bench that have a 1 goal or even 2 goals waiting to just come and produce. That for me is a good team to have. And nothing beats a team, when it comes down to football. Sometimes no matter how many superstars you want to have or have this superstar on your team, when you're in a tournament, team football usually trumps superstars.
As was proven, and Real Madrid had all those stars, but a team that played as a team knocked them out of the Champions League. But I agree with your total shakes. But my only concern with the Italians at the beginning of the tournament was if a number 9 would actually show up. So far, 2 games, Ciro Immobile has 2 goals to show.
Yeah.
So I'm actually happy with that. And now we reach a point where we want the producer view on the Italians because the producer has been talking them up a lot, So producer, it's now your time of the show,
Well, coming into the tournament, they were seen as a dark horse, right? The fact that they went 28 games unbeaten the last 3 years since 2018. But no, we don't even want to. I'm not going to put them in that category as a dark horse. I currently have them as second favorite behind France, right?
Oh?
In our overall assessment regarding their defensive mobility, midfield as well as their offensive forward line. So they are second favorites behind France at this moment, based on my assessment.
That's high praise.
Yes, Shakes. What we do is that we did a projection yesterday. We analyzed the first round, and based on what we saw from the first round, judging by who the teams played, because you have to factor in that, I know that France played a better opposition than the Swiss has done.
Agreed.
So you know that based on that, France would be seen as a favorite still. However, this could easily change come the end of the second round, because the Italians have started off by getting a 3-0 victory. France might come next match and lose it, And France will lose points next match because of the opponent that they'll actually face more than likely. Because I think they have Hungary next, right?
Yeah, Hungary, yeah.
So they're going to lose points based on the opponents. So this could easily change. Producer, people are beating in the comment section saying come like a ghost. But I agree with him somewhat that the Italians have look like a well-aligned.
The only problem with the Italian side, right, is Chiellini is out basically as Shakes Chiellini. Basically as Shakes says, he's a doctor, so he's likely up to date or informed regarding that injury. But I'm yet to see Italy face one of those counter-attacking pace, right? And those teams like France. And also in teams like England, if Southgate's a counter-attacking with pace players that might trouble that backline, that aging backline.
That is another concept I agree with, because if you look at how they played even against Turkey, as I said on the previous podcast when Shakes was here, I saw laps in those defenders. And if you have pacey players bearing down on them, there's a mistake within them, man. But at this point in time, we can't talk about what we have not seen. We have to just talk about what we have seen, right?
Well, it might be a blessing that Chiellini got injured, because you will basically get in a younger player alongside Bonucci.
Yeah.
Well, he will be 3 years younger, not much younger.
Where's the Acherbis shall come in?
That's a whole lot. That's a whole lot, Ryan, in football.
So, Ryan, you expect Acerbi to actually take the place
Yeah,
of
man, he'll be the
Haley.
one. I mean, he was the one who came on, so that shows that he's the next in line.
I
Yeah.
wish Bastoni would actually be the one, but
I wish
we'll
it
leave
was
to see on that.
Bastoni as well.
Tomorrow, first up, and I just want prediction for this. Ukraine against North Macedonia, and for me, I'm going to call it already. Ukraine for the win. Shakes,
Same.
Ryan,
2-1.
2-0 Ukraine.
and Jason.
Same, 2-0 Ukraine.
North Macedonia to go home. Burn Pandev won't score this time around because of any mistake. Well, sorry. I mean, let me rephrase. Is the Ukraine keeper that if it's the same Ukraine keeper that kept in the game against Netherlands, there's a possibility that North Macedonia can get a goal. Next up at 11 a.m. tomorrow, the team that has been down since Christian Eriksen went down, can they actually lift their heads up and bounce back and do this for him, or will they just flatter to deceive and be punished by the Belgians? So tomorrow at 11 a.m., we'll see Denmark taking on Belgium. Ryan.
You know, for some reason, I'm going to think that Denmark can play for Ericsson and not win but get a draw. So I'm going to take the risk and go 1-1.
Jason.
Be an emotional game. Lukaku mentioned that they're going to break the play in the 10th minute just to celebrate Eriksen, but I don't see Belgium dropping the game, to be honest, regardless. So
Lukaku said he's going to do what?
The team is going to take a 10 minute in the 10 minute. They're going to take a minute of silence to actually recognize Christian Eriksen.
Yeah. So yeah, I still have Belgium for the win. So I say 2-0 to the Belgians.
That looks like a Novak Djokovic moment.
Man, you go from yourself, man. Why this man try bringing Novak into this argument? Shakes, this man in the background. Oh,
I heard him.
That is going to be like a Novak Djokovic moment.
I know. I heard him.
The hell up,
They're
man.
going to slow down the momentum.
Man, shut the hell up. Anyways, Shakes, your prediction for this game.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with actually a 2-1 victory for Belgium. Why I'm not going with more goals for Belgium? Because I think they're just going to feel sorry and not kill Denmark. Yeah. Lukaku might just decide that, hey, guess what? One goal might be enough. So Denmark might get a late goal. So 2-1.
All right.
But Belgium will be leading comfortably throughout that game.
Next up at 2 p.m., we'll see Netherlands taking on Austria. A game that shall be entertaining, a game that if you're better, you'll be licking your lips because goals will be the order of the day. Yes, the Austrians will be up without Marko Arnautovic because of UEFA. They said he did something that they're deemed as racist because of them going whatever with the Austrians and the North Macedonians and all of that. So, Shakes, I'm going to start with you on this one. Where's this one going tomorrow?
You will say goals. I see a 1-1 draw. I think that both teams will basically cancel out each other. Not only that, the fact that Austria got a good result against Macedonia, they're sitting on 3 points. So play conservative.
Just like the Dutch.
And go again?
Just like the Dutch.
Yeah, play conservative. Go for 1 point. Getting 1 point may very well get you into the next round, even as one of the better third place teams. So if I were the Austrian coach, that's what I would do. Play for a draw.
Jason.
I have no faith in France. I couldn't believe that Netherlands scored more goals against Ukraine than Frank de Boer and Christopher scored than Frank de Boer in EPL. But I'm going for a draw in him. As Lavan said, I agree that he will be goals, so I'm going for a draw.
And Ryan, the prophet.
Going with the same scoreline as Jason.
So you guys are agreeing that it'll be a goal fest.
The call a two a goal fest, sure.
It is, man. Come on. As long as you go over 2 goals, it's a goal fest.
No, probably not, because Shakes go 1-1, so that's a under 2.5.
Exactly.
Well, it's not a bad option in terms of for the betters. They can go with both teams to score then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That work.
On Friday, first we'll see. I just want to predict just the scoreline for these games. So Sweden against Slovakia. Jason.
Sweden, Slovakia.
Boy. I look for Sweden to. No. I say a 1-half draw. I can't separate these two teams, because I can't separate them. 1-half.
Ryan.
1-0 Sweden.
Shakes.
Let's go with a 2-1 victory for Sweden.
Croatia against Czech Republic at 11 a.m. Prediction quickly, Ryan.
2-1 Croatia.
Shakes.
Croatia to win. No, lie. They're playing Czech Republic. No,
Yeah.
Czech Republic to win 2-1.
Wow.
Yes, Czech Republic to win 2-1. Listen, many people are underestimating that Czech team.
Shakes, can I be frank? And I'm not talking about the board.
Yes.
Actually, I agree with you. I agree with you.
Thank you.
I said it to Josh that a lot of people are underestimating this Czech Republic side, and they're not a walkover.
So so Levon, you see like how you guys shifted, or it was really Josh that shifted Italy from the dark horse team. Czech Republic is a dark horse team now.
Patrick Schick, Thomas Schuschek, and Vladimir Kufal.
You mean the same Czech Republic that England beat up in their group for Euros?
Boss, you guys never beat up Czech Republic.
We beat them 3-1 in the first game.
So on, they catch you and beat up.
Yeah,
Who beat up Czech?
Yeah,
England.
No, England gave Czech 5-0 recently.
We're all recent.
Like a year ago. In the qualifier.
First game of Euros.
In the qualifying group. We give them Czech 2-1 away. We lost to Czech 2-1 away after we qualified.
After we qualified, we never need to do
Before that, we won 5-0.
Ryan, a year ago, I mean.
No,
if you
yeah,
look
so
at it-
recent. A year ago is recent.
Yeah, it's
Boss, a
recent.
year ago, not recent for me, man.
Probably see England beat up them time, we know them number.
Yeah, but me not say England not good either.
England is not good.
Czech played one of their worst sides. Anyways, let's move on because you guys left over his English team. Since there, Jason, your prediction for this game because these man taught me that me have to get.
Them have no faith in us out there, though. But yeah, I agree with Shakes. But Czech Republic team.
We see the light, man. We see the light. Next up on Friday at 2 p.m. A big match based on who these two teams are, the history between them. The English against the Scottish, and Andrew Robertson came out and said that the English fans need to show them more respect. I'm going to start this one with the Englishman, Ryan. Let's see this one going to
What is Robertson talking about?
the man said don't show them enough respect.
No, but England is showing none of them rivals respect. Neither does the rivals show England respect. So what I'm talking about?
Well, that's what he came out and said, that the English fans need to show them more respect.
Anyway, 3-0 England. Because I don't know what Robert's talking about.
And your best centre back will be back. Harry Maguire.
I don't think he should play. I don't think he should play. I think England should wait and once if they qualify, they play him in the last game to get him up to speed.
All right, boss. So
3-0 England for this game.
So Trippier at left back again.
Hopefully not. Hopefully Trippier on the bench.
Shakes.
Yeah, you want the prediction?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with a 1-1 draw in that game.
Wow.
Look for a possible red card in that match.
2-1 Calvin Phillips.
It's too political.
It can go either way. Listen, you see the history. The fact that they're playing in a tournament for the first time in a very long time. Scotland, they haven't scored a goal since Craig Burley scored a goal way back when you were
98
just
World
a
Cup.
boy.
When was that?
When you were just
98
a
World
boy.
Cup.
90 how
98.
much?
98.
98 World Cup.
I didn't tell them. I just 1 year in the boss.
Yes, that's what I said when you were just a boy, right?
Really?
So, I'm gonna give them a goal in the game. It will be a very cagey affair. So I'm gonna go with a 1-1 draw, especially because Southgate for me is the other madman in this tournament. I'd mentioned Santos. Southgate
There's
is
only really
another.
one coach in this tournament. It's just Mancini is the only coach in the tournament. Come on, Shakes.
Thus far, I would agree. And the Czech Republic coach.
Yeah.
Yes, he puts out his team to get the best result possible on the day, right? I'm not sure if that will happen come tomorrow. Because for me, Southgate just too defensive, right? Too defensive.
Sir, Ryan, you seem surprised. You seem surprised when I said I was just 1 year old at that point in time. Kind of surprised, boss.
Yeah, I never know you were that young. As the Kirsten, I said something though that England lost 2-1. Yeah, I just said that. I said England in the qualifier, England lost away 2-1 after England already qualified. Before that, England won 5-0. So
And
maybe he did not hear.
and over to the man that has says that he has dual citizenship. He's somewhat of a Brazilian, but I fail to believe that. I think he's a Maltese, and he says that he's an Englishman, but for some reason, I also think that he might be someone that comes from San Marino. I'm talking about Jason.
I don't know what Ryan talking about because if Maguire half it, Maguire is starting against Scotland. And expect this explanation from Southgate to be that his head will be critical to deflect those crosses from Andy Robertson. So overall, I see England winning 2-1. This might be the end of Scotland.
So, one quick thing before I go. I expect to see Trippier tomorrow now, Ryan, based on what Southgate said. Southgate says that Trippier is experienced and is there to deal with crosses. Tomorrow you have to deal with Andrew Robertson. So, I mean, that simply suggests that Trippier will be at left wing back come tomorrow. Or
Right
left
now,
back.
right now, Southgate's coming like him as the crosses.
But but he actually is. And on that note, this is where we're going to call it a night on the show. We just encourage our viewers to go out and watch some good football in Europe. South America doesn't have any good football playing. It's like you're watching Red Stripe Premier. Well, formerly Red Stripe Premier League.
Nobody do that, man.
It's now known as the Jamaican Premier League.
You're going to take your class tomorrow in Brazil, please. Sorry.
Argentina, boss. Argentina no good, none tall. Not to mention Brazil. Brazil is big. You know
Brazil
what?
is a weak team.
Brazil look really bad first.
Oh, Brazil is. Alright, let me tell you about Brazil is. You know that you have a class of student, right? And all of them average like say around 40. And they just have one student who touch the 50. That's Brazil.
Give them 60. Give them 60 level.
If you put Brazil in the group, if you put Brazil in the group of debt,
them dead.
Take out Hungary and put Brazil in the group of debt.
Yeah, Brazil is the weakest team.
Brazil come third and Germany come last.
No.
I might have a soft spot.
No, seriously. Brazil in Copa though. Brazil will not pass quarterfinals.
Hold on. In Copa or in Euro?
Sorry, Euro.
Europe,
Oh,
man. In
okay.
Copa, they're going to win Copa, man.
Because
They're
they are
winning
famous
Copa.
for
They have a bad
Copa.
bunch playing against.
But in Euro, they're not coming past. They're not going past the quarterfinals.
Yeah, Brazil
Yeah,
weak, man.
you know, I asked Levan this question, and I want to ask Shakes and same question. How much teams right now, European wise, better than Brazil right now?
So listen, Jason.
The
If you
top
have
team.
Roly Poly Oli in your team as a star man, you're not going nowhere. And I am Brazilian. I am Brazilian.
All right,
Shakes, just
man.
answer the question I asked you, man. Answer the question.
All
You say how
right.
much teams in
Teams
Europe
that
better
are
than Brazil?
better, teams that I believe could actually beat Brazil in a tournament right now: France, Portugal, Germany, Italy as constructed, England. Even though I don't rate them highly, but I still believe that England could get a positive result against them. So and possibly Spain, even with them pass round football.
Pass on donkey football.
But
Yep.
the thing with Spain is that it's Shakes. When Spain have the ball, Brazil not going to touch it. So they're going to win. So Spain are going to beat them
Listen,
too.
but hold on. It's simply no. If you can have Fred in your team to run around the pass
Freddy
round
Krueger.
donkey, and you have Roly Poly Oli, you're not going nowhere. Absolutely
And then-
nowhere.
And then guess what, Shakes? You have Gabriel Jesus starting as a number.
Come on, man.
Basically, as a
Listen,
number 10.
Listen,
You did
Come
say
on.
Belgium already. You said Belgium already, right?
No, it didn't. Shakes is
oh,
that
I
in
did.
that
Sorry,
mentioned.
I didn't even remember Belgium. My bad.
Brazil was one that
So that's what 6 teams, right?
Six.
That's 6 teams.
Possibly
Yes.
7.
Well,
Yeah,
So,
but
so
quarterfinals is the best here.
So quarterfinals would be the best. And listen, even if by chance them sneak through Jason and a penalty shootout, they might get knocked out in the semi-final.
5-1-6 now.
So guess what? I am a Brazilian and I don't expect anything of Brazil until about 2032. No joke. As in the culture in the Brazil camp needs to change. There is a reason why PSG don't do well. Is because of Neymar. The same thing applies to Brazil. Roly Poly Oli cannot be leading your team to victory. Football is not played lying down on a ground, boss.
But Shakes, you know that you just said something that would be bad if I'm actually a Brazilian fan and also a supporter of a particular party in this country, because the people in say are next about 2030 or 2032 before that particular party is about power. So
I
it's
agree.
just basically the same thing. So I'd actually fret if I'm a Brazilian and that particular party supporter.
Yeah, man. As in Brazil needs to look to the next generation,
But
and
that never end them.
probably Jason need to admit to that too.
Who end them?
which next generation? Which next generation? You mean Vinicius and Rodrigo who not performing?
No. I will be looking
God.
at persons that are 15 to 18 right now, so that in the next 6 to 8 years they can actually be playing decent football, and you try to build your team from that core, right?
I agree
But
with
come on, Jason. This
Why,
crop of players.
If Vinicius is a future, God go with it.
Yeah, but guess what? But
Brazil
not
needs
only
to-
that, Ryan. If Richarlison can be my starting forward, oh my God, what is Brazil football come to?
Jason,
That's like Joe. That's like
Hold on,
Joe.
I'm glad Christopher Harvey said this, because I said it to Levon recently. Brazil realized their deficiency, which is why they said it's just like when Kobe was the only good player on Lakers one time. Them just said, give him the ball.
Exactly.
And then when assists or score. That is why Neymar have 6 goals and 5 assists.
Listen,
Give him the
he will
ball.
always score. He will always score
or
when
assist.
it does not matter.
Jason,
When it mattered at the last World Cup, where was he? Rolling on the
Alright.
floor.
Alright, the producer is trying to make a point to Jason quickly.
Jason.
Go ahead, my boss.
Yeah,
Go
you
ahead.
remember that? I think that this is what Brazil probably need to do. You remember that Brazilian side that took on England under 17 with Phil Foden and Sancho, right? In the quarterfinals of the World Cup, right? That was a very good young Brazilian side.
Hold on there. None of the Brewster score a hat trick.
Yeah, we nearly beat them 3-1, but that was a very good Brazil, and they did not have their best player, right?
But hold on, producer, I know that you're kind of
No, what I'm trying to say,
contradicting yourself now because you
England, right? England has much played some of those players into the senior team now. As Brazil was one of those favorite for the under 17 World Cup. Probably need to look to those younger players and try to match play into their senior team.
But producer, I said contradict yourself. Earlier, I said that you guys demolished Czech Republic by 3-1. Now here you're saying that you guys hardly beat Brazil by 3-1 again. So pick up your mind.
No. Right.
But
Different age group, man.
boss, all those players that came up through that team, all of them have fallen by the wayside. Trust me. Because I remember when Gabriel Barbosa and Gabriel Jesus came through and everybody was saying, oh, these are the next two big things. Where's Barbosa now? He's done by Brazil playing for Flamengo.
Couldn't
Came
make
in
it attention. Couldn't cut it in Europe.
Exactly. Boss,
As I
Brazil
said,
is just a culture shit.
the culture needs to change. Brazil needs to go back to their roots. They cannot try to adopt the European style of football because they're not European. You play with flair, stick to that.
Agreed upon. And this is where it's going to call it a night on the show. I kind of jotted it out because I talk about that Bush League side, Brazil, and it kind of caused a little. It caused a lot of people to get up in their feelings because, as I said, a lot of Jamaican fans are waganists. So because they grew up and they saw their whoever supporting Brazil, and how they heard that Brazil is a big team, they jump on the Brazil wagon. And this was the exact reason why Germany failed at the last World Cup. A lot of people jump on the German wagon, and this is the exact reason why France will fail again, because all of a sudden I see everybody palavering around with a French flag. So say no more.
There are so many French supporters that I see nowadays. I'm like, where were you guys? Where were you in 1998?
Yeah. So as I said, Brazil
2010, when France did the worst.
Exactly. Where were they?
It's just like Liverpool. Liverpool started to come to the fore again. All of a sudden, you see a lot of Liverpool fans where you never saw them for quite a while. But as I said, on that note, I want to say thanks to all our viewers, all our commenters, because you guys are the one that keeps us entertained at times. Because read through the comments. Don't think that we don't read all the comments. We actually do. I actually say thanks to the producer who makes this possible. Thanks to Jason, who is somewhat disappointed because of what we said about his stupid team, Brazil. Although Shakes is a Brazilian, but Shakes is a man just talk the truth and nothing but the truth.
I accept reality.
Big up Shakes and also Ryan, the man who somewhat still like the producer. They believe that the English team is this golden team that they'll actually.
I have never said that at no point during our Euro conversations.
False prophet, man, it's coming home.
So, Ryan, I want you to go out and say it. I want you to say it's coming home to, as the producer would say.
It's already home, because that's where most of the tournament is being held, and the finals will be held. The finals will be held there, so the trophy will definitely be in Wembley Stadium.
But you guys playing a game.
Regardless,
right?
Regardless if England is in the final or not, the trophy will be there. So it's already home.
You sound like Ryan. You sound like Bones when Bones said that Chelsea should actually parade around the Emirates just for them to have a
I agree, right? Just so that they can get a view.
Big up yourself and big up everybody. Just watch some European football. Tomorrow shall be entertaining, and also Friday. Just watch some football, man, and go out and bet if you're a better. If you're not a better, just sit back, eat a popcorn, drink 2 beer, or if you don't drink, just drink some water, enjoy the games. Until next time, which will be Friday. Well, yeah, the NBA is also on as well. But until Friday, we say so long, take care of yourself.